Good evening. I was just paying a little more attention to the intro than I have in a while, because I hear it every day that I do a show. Um, so wow, is it sure a reflection um, of the times? Wow, and to be honest, when I made that intro video, it was it was, in my opinion, a clear reflection of those times. Um, Things had kind of eased up a little bit since then, and I guess here we are again. Um, Wonder what the difference was. Hmm. Not that I'm pandering for any kind of a party or a person, but things sure are different now. Um, so let's see. I didn't get a Grow Tent video, the daily vlog for the Grow Tent out today, and obviously I didn't get the morning news for Patreon. I didn't think I was going to get that. But I did get done with the work I needed to do on the website. So that's done. That's out of the way. I am going to tomorrow change up how I'm doing the irrigation system just a little bit, minor change. But I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing. So that video I'll make tomorrow in place of a daily vlog video, and then we'll continue with the daily vlogs after tomorrow. So and then Patreon news should be no sweat for tomorrow morning. So I think that covers updates as far as we're concerned. So I kind of, at about, I guess, 9:30, I was working. I was working on the website, and I tried to stay focused on that stuff. And I kept looking up, and I've got this notification on my on my Google Chrome, and it's an RT notification. It shows a number. I've talked about it before, and it shows a number, and those are the headlines. And I don't post every headline. If it's sports, if it's entertainment, if it's stuff like that, I don't post it. And RT doesn't have. I mean, they've got quite a bit of sports, but not so much entertainment and stuff. And so anyway, it was like 40 something at like 9:30ish, like that, and I was like, holy cow. So I actually had to stop work so that I could get those out, because that was just insane. Not only that, so that I could get those out, but also so that I could make sure there was nothing too insane going on. The only thing that I knew that was going on, that was getting some news, was Jeff Bezos and his flight into space today, which I did watch. I kind of watched. I put it up, but I was working, so I actually kind of really missed some key moments. Sorry, people walking by outside. So I caught some, I missed some key moments. So nonetheless, I will say this in observation of the Jeff Bezos experience versus the Richard Branson experience, and that is Jeff Bezos just really didn't have, from what I saw, didn't have near the production as far as, the production of it. It's kind of bland, really, from what I saw. But one thing that was kind of odd was some of the shots, some of the camera shots looked a little weird. I don't know if anybody else watched that and caught that, but I mean, I'm not saying I'd have to watch it again But it looked a little weird. But that's got to be incredibly hard to do. To be able to get footage of stuff like that happening. So again, I'm not jumping on any sides with anything. I'm trying to look at it all and take it in. I personally believe that they did it. I believe that Bezos and Branson both did what they claimed to have done. I don't think there's no secret in that. I know in the chat there was a message before the show about well, it simply said, I don't like to pay for billionaires to go to space who can pay for themselves to go. We're in the middle of a pandemic. How selfish is that? And I agree. I think, well, for one, I think the timing of their stunt is just incredibly poor. But on top of that, I am a science nut, and I am heavily in favor of space exploration and stuff like that. But there's a way to go about this, and I don't think that really this is the way. Now, in a sense it is, but they're turning it into a status thing, for one, and that's wrong in and of itself. The only reason why I'm in any way for it is because I am a science nut and I like space exploration and stuff like that. And, well, to be honest, the U.S. government and their agencies hasn't done such a great job in the past when it comes to designing spacecraft. They just haven't. They've really been over budget, under capable. I mean, space shuttle. Need I say more? And so I think that private industry is going to be much more innovative. And I think that in the long run, it's going to benefit the space, whatever, industry, if you will. So I think that part of it's good. But that's not what's really going on here. What's going on here is, well, space tourism. And in fact, there's one of the headlines today, there's a Democratic senator that is already ready to put a tax on it. Put a tax on space tourism. And that's what this is essentially for. And they're not hiding that. I don't know how much Bezos has said, but with Branson's deal, that most certainly is up for grabs. What was it? 500, 600 tickets or something's already been sold. I think $250,000 a pop, if I'm not mistaken, for Branson's deal. And now, that being said, Branson's craft, and as well as Bezos, but Branson's I think is really a good direction. That's truly innovative. That is truly innovative, and I think that they're on to something there. Now, if you could possibly even mix the two ideas. You know, the Bezos, which to me is incredibly similar to what SpaceX has got going on, and Branson's, right? You would be able to, and I would think, fly further into space, and possibly be able to travel as well into space for some distance. And be able to return back. And when returning back, you could, I'm thinking, drop the booster and let it come back to Earth, and then go ahead and do your. If you watched it, you would know there was a maneuver it did. The feather or something like that they called it when it came down. It was interesting. I'm into that kind of stuff. I think it's cool. I just don't think that this is the right timing for those guys to be doing what they're doing the way they're doing it. But like I say, I think it's a step forward, kind of, when it comes to the space thing. At the same time, those vehicles as they are don't have a whole lot of use for space exploration. They're more or less just a quick trip up and down. They can't stay up there for any length of time or anything like that. So, but ideas are good. Ideas are good. But man, is that ridiculous, because there are so many people that are in a bad way right now, and I have a feeling we got more to come. And like I said, there was an insane amount of headlines today, and they continued throughout the day. One thing that I want to point out, and I want to really make note of this: the acceleration of things that are going on is through the roof. The last 2 days, they've been through the roof. For whatever reason, I'm just keen on patterns, okay? For whatever reason, a lot of times before a major event, there'll be a build-up like this. And we'll see what happens. But I would say kind of be watchful. Got a massive increase in stuff going on. You're gonna, like I say, you're gonna see that evident in the headlines. You're gonna see. I think you're gonna also see that the types of events that are happening are kind of crazy. I've actually got probably plenty of things to say on some of the headlines, so we can mosey that way. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about in particular because there were just so many different things. I did read a couple of stories, not just a couple. I say a couple. I read a ton, but there are a couple that interested me. And when I get to them, I'll make sure to comment. But let me have a sip of tea here. Fun times. Yep, I'll be if didn't get done with the work today, and almost all of my work went to the dog. Seriously, well, almost everything we bought today was for the dog, other than the website domain we had to renew. Literally, for the website work that I did, we had a domain that we had to redo, which is $16. But then the rest went towards Blue. Her ear stuff is kind of expensive, and so we're getting plenty of that. And she's like almost out of treats, and that is not gonna go well. So yeah, I want to survive. Anyway, it's not SHTF until Blue runs out of treats or anything really, and then it's SHTF. Let's see. All right. Okay, tons of stuff going on today. Get this where I can kind of read it. Alright, multiple rockets land near Afghan presidential palace during Eid prayers, and I don't know if I said that right, in Kabul. I have no idea how that's supposed to be pronounced. Yikes. For some reason, my notifications on my phone and watch have been like grouping up today. I won't get nothing, and then all of a sudden I'll get 1,000. Let's see. Twitter suspends Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene over COVID-19 disinfo after calls to stop human experiments and battle obesity. So, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with all of the censorship stuff, especially since it came out that the U.S. government is actually in on some of it. Could lead to some interesting stuff. I mean, one of the two is going to happen. Either the government's going to get their hands slapped, or they're going to be tightening down on us more than you could ever fear in your worst nightmare. I'm telling you. Once they take that step and they take that control, that they literally intercept, stop, or whatever, private messages. Once they take that step, man, and I don't say anything anyway, and I've said this a million times, don't put anything on the internet you don't want the world to know, and that includes in private messages, anywhere, don't put it on the web. And I'm telling you, it's gonna come back to haunt people. Let's see. Amazon cuts business ties with Israeli spyware maker NSO Group following allegations of widespread hacking. The countdown begins. Richest earthling Jeff Bezos set to make a not-so-groundbreaking billionaire spaceflight. Let's see. South Korean PM apologizes as 250 seamen test positive on COVID-ridden destroyer, 12 in critical condition. That is insane. Now, there's a lot of stuff with this COVID that I'm finding interesting, to say the least. And I don't know. I didn't read this article. I don't know if this here is the the Delta strain or what have you. But interesting things I'm seeing with it, and I of course I can't verify personally any of it, but very interesting. I will say that. Let's keep our eyes on what's going on, and I really firmly believe that there are lockdowns on the horizon. I think that there's a chance that it might wind up worse than before. So I hope not. I'm not hoping for this. And I don't think that there's a need for this. But what I hope and what I think doesn't really matter to those that want to stamp down on us. So, Dutch regulator fines Italian pharma firm nearly 20 million euros for hiking drug price by more than 30,000%. I mean, here's what really upsets me. They get fined 20 million euros. Question: how many billions with a B did they take in? So they pay a 20 million euro fine. Nobody is criminally charged and goes to jail. But if somebody goes to a convenience store and, I don't know, takes a piece of candy or something, I'm not saying people should be allowed to go to a convenience store and take candy. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe that things are a little bit mixed up here. Bitcoin plunges below 30,000 amid broader cryptocurrency market sell-off. Socialist Pedro Castillo confirmed as Peru's president after weeks-long vote count. China dismisses Western hacking claims as unreasonable following Microsoft breach hits back at eavesdropping Washington. As U.S. troops are flown out of Afghanistan, the graveyard of great empires is now once again at the center of the battle for Eurasia. Let's see. Over half of Australia's population now under stay-at-home orders as South Australia becomes third state to enter lockdown. I'm telling you, these lockdowns are happening across the world. I really think they're coming here. Russia shows off new high-tech S-500 rocket system. Now check this out. Designed to take down enemy space weapons high above planet Earth. So now they're not just for missiles and planes. Now they're for space weapons. That's quite an advancement in technology, I'm just saying. Paris prosecutors opened probe into Morocco's alleged use of Pegasus spyware to snoop on French journalists. Catastrophically worse scale of India's COVID-19 deaths 10 times higher than officially reported, says a study. More than 1,000 Russian and Uzbek troops sent to border with Afghanistan as Taliban gains ground following American withdrawal. Global oil prices drop below $70 as OPEC Plus reaches deal on output boost. 100,000 plus Britons signed petition to outlaw discrimination against unvaccinated as government moves forward with COVID vaccine passports. So a lot of division there. Oh, I do want to make mention of this. So I spoke to somebody that lives over in the UK on Facebook today, and we were just talking about, well, we started out talking about flight sim. Was it flight? Yeah, flight sim is what we started talking about. But anyway, we started talking about like the social situations and stuff like that, and she was telling me about how tense things are there as far as between individuals, each other, the same as what it is here. And it's very interesting because, you know, we, at least the news that I see and the news I put out, we hear about the protests and stuff like that that go on over there. But I don't know so much that we really see about the tensions between the individuals. Now, tensions, of course, between politicians and stuff over there, yes, but between individuals, not so much. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting little insight that she had given me. Boris Johnson didn't want second lockdown last year because it would kill the economy to save the elderly, a former top aide says. Armed man attempts to stab Mali's interim president during prayers at Bamako Mosque. U.S. has declared economic war on Moscow, top Russian senator claims, says missile test not provocation but response to hostility. Game's over. Tokyo chief refuses to rule out last-minute cancellation of COVID-hit Olympics. Now, this is going to be interesting to see play out as well, because I have a feeling that it's spread a lot further than what, you know, even they know at this point. And so we'll see what happens, but I have a feeling this isn't going to turn out real well. At the very least, I heavily suspect that you're going to have a lot of athletes that have to drop out because they get ill, simply because they get ill and they can't perform. You have to understand, you know, in their situation, anything even like the sniffles can really screw them up. I would imagine for a lot of the different sports and stuff or events that a minor cold would probably make all the difference. And these people are typically at the very, very tip top of performance shape when they show up here. And so to get an illness, no matter how light, could be devastating to their performance. So I wonder. I'm not saying that I think a bunch of them would be hospitalized and go to the ICU, although I'm sure that there's a possibility that some will. So I don't think that this stuff's non-existent. I think it's very much there. I just don't think I don't think the response that it's garnered is appropriate. So, not whatsoever. So, anyway, most of us aren't all jammed in together in a tight space like the Olympic people are. You know what I mean? So, or trying to romp on cardboard beds. But I'm just saying that was in the news. Not that I know anything about that, because I wouldn't qualify to be a trash man at the Olympics. Taiwan's Medigan COVID vaccine to be trialed in Paraguay despite corruption charges filed by opposition. Daring Russian parachutists land in Siberia's UNESCO World Heritage Lena Pillars Nature Park to manually fight wildfires. Damn, that sounds like a Russian thing to do. Let's see. Investigation opened into giant Macron-Hitler billboard comparing COVID policy to Nazi regime. A Norwegian man used 300 stolen identities as part of massive COVID compensation scam. Let's see. Polish swimmers furious after being sent home from Tokyo Olympics after hapless officials send too many athletes. That would suck. A Ugandan weightlifter who fled Tokyo Olympics to seek work found in Japanese cities. So, this was one of the stories that interested in me. And wow, did I really just say interested in? Yeah, I did. Anyway, it did. And so I read it because I was curious what was going to happen to this gentleman. And, I mean, it doesn't say obviously in the end what's going to happen. But at this point, they just plainly say that they're questioning him to try to find out his true motives. And, I guess they're going to go from there. So I guess it's not 110% ruled out that he can't stay in Japan. Or what have you, or maybe go somewhere else. But nonetheless, they're going to rightfully so investigate the situation. So, I don't know. They seem to be in the mindset, at least from what the article says, it's all I've got to go by, that, this guy just doesn't want to go back home. Because something or another happened to where I guess, I don't know if he didn't qualify or what have you. Something happened, so he don't want to go home. And I guess he was married because talked about sending his wife his things. So I thought that was kind of crazy. Anyway, the whole thing just really seems surreal to me. That this man would leave his wife and leave his country and all of that. Not that I think Uganda's probably a wonderful place to live. I don't know, but I don't know. I try to think about other people's positions because it helps us grow as individuals, I think. Anyway, bad spot to be in. I wished I understood more. Let's see. Jeff Bezos heads off to space. This this I thought was an interesting headline. Will sail where international law allows. UK to permanently deploy naval vessels to South China Sea amid regional tensions. Now, when I read this headline today, I had to take a double take, because when I saw UK, my mind was automatically telling me that this was going to be something in reference to Russia. And then I saw South China Sea, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. I'm finding this very interesting that the UK have seemed to have grown some very, very, very huge cojones. And I'm kind of at a loss, to be honest. I mean, really? Okay. I'm really curious if they're being put out there as bait. Top aide to ousted Myanmar leader dies in jail from coronavirus as nation struggles with infection surge. Now, mind you, the top aide to the ousted Myanmar leader, right? He was in jail. Died from COVID. I mean, there was several others that I questioned early on after the coup that just died in jail. And I'm just saying, I think another one just died in jail. I don't think we were told the truth about how they died. 5 countries interested in Russia's state-of-the-art Su-57 fighter jet. U.S. issues urgently needed cybersecurity warning to pipeline operators amid new rift with China over hacking. So this is a headline you might want to tuck in the back of your head, just in case you wake up to a headline saying that pipelines are down. So just do the things that you would normally do in this type of a situation. If you do transit, then make sure you've got extra fuel. Do the things. Russia unveils new deadly attack drone variant as military industrial chief says country to become major player in export market. I thought that was interesting too. Now that's drones, talking about selling, exporting drones, and this was talking about selling, exporting jets. Bezos lands in West Texas desert after successful space flight. Over 1 million children in England missed school over COVID on July 15th, the Department of Education reveals. Prison for anti-vaxxers. People who promote refusal of vaccines should be made criminally responsible, suggests a Russian official. I've got a suggestion for him. Britain shocked by new migrant crisis as 430 arrive on English shores in one day, a new record. A top Russian lawmaker says ex-Ukrainian President Poroshenko is a dreamer over new claim that Kiev will retake Crimea within a year. Photos of senior Russian traffic policeman's large luxurious palace goes viral after local cop mafia arrested over bribery charges. And I'll tell you what, that is one heck of a home. Chinese subway passengers trapped by rising floodwaters as torrential rain pounds Henan province. And I don't even know what I would have thought if I'd have been there. I mean, this is some insane stuff.
车厢来已经到腰了，过腰了。往那边去，外边可能那外边水更高，车厢外边水
The
更高。
water running outside of the train.
车厢来
And let me bring it back here. The water level outside of the train looks to be, I'm going to guess about a foot above what it is inside the subway car. And that would be a kind of a freaky moment, because you realize that the water's rising outside. I'm sure there was no way to know for sure just how deep that water was going to get. So that had to have been pretty freaky. Here's another view here. I mean, the tracks were completely submerged.
叫311报警，现在已经到格勒邦那个肩膀。车厢呢已经到腰了，过腰了。往那边去，外边看到没？外边水更高。
I mean, could you imagine? That's why I don't want nothing to do with living in a place like that, because that is just insane. And if you were to be in something, I mean, they're trapped. They're trapped. Anyway, I thought that was crazy. Billionaire backslapping. Branson congratulates Bezos on impressive spaceflight. Well, good job there, jolly good chap. Or something like that. Canadian Indigenous leaders call for racist Manitoba province government to be toppled if it doesn't address community issues. Indonesia extends COVID curbs after hitting record national daily deaths as infections spike. Mexico's president vows probe into allegations Pegasus malware used by previous government to spy on him, and dozens more. Iran unveils strict COVID restrictions and Tehran lockdown as officials warn of fifth wave. And then here's another one that was like crazy as far as military weaponry. Russian military weaponry. Weapon of the future today, Russia unveils Checkmate, new 5th generation lightweight stealth fighter, unmanned version in the works. Now that is actually what the F-35 was intended to be, was an unmanned aircraft. Now, I think they got there. I think they have got there. In fact, I believe that it was essentially designed to be an autonomous unmanned vehicle, and I do believe they got there. But that type of stuff would be under wraps. Pretty sure they did it though. And that, I think, is essentially what Russia is doing here with a very, very similar aircraft. And I in looking at this aircraft though, I don't know that this has the ability to do STOL, the short takeoff and landing. I don't think that this has, or VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, either one. I don't think that this has that ability because it doesn't look like the rear engine has the nozzles. It doesn't look like there's any type of a fan system in the front, in which you need for an aircraft of that shape in order to take straight off. So I think this is just pretty much going to be a regular straight flying plane. However, the unmanned and possibly autonomous part of it, I don't know. It could be concerning. It depends what the autonomy is programmed to do. If it's programmed to take out civilians in subdivisions, it's going to be a nightmare. I mean a nightmare. But if it's if it's programmed to only take out military and try to spare civilians, you're going to probably see a lot less innocent casualties of war with this method. Not that I'm supporting war. I'm just saying. It's crazy. Crazy times. And I really don't think that they're putting all this stuff out there for nothing. I really don't. I do think that the countries are about to about to go head-to-head. I really do. Let's see. You don't know what you're talking about. Fauci loses it with Senator Rand Paul over Wuhan lab funding accusations. Disgraced Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein handed over for extradition to face sex crime charges in California. South Korean climber makes history at 57 before reportedly falling down side of mountain in Pakistan and going missing. Morocco spied on French President Macron with Israeli Pegasus malware, says reports. You guys paid for all this. Internet fumes as billionaire Bezos thanks Amazon employees and customers for funding his trip to space. The dumbest idea in Senate history. Question mark, sorry. That was actually an opinion part I shouldn't have probably said. Graham slams plan to wedge amnesty proposal into overstuffed infrastructure bill. I can't even say that line, so. Amid rain and floods, China sends military to stop imminent dam collapse in Henan. Trump inauguration chair arrested and charged with acting as unregistered agent of foreign power. A Democrat congressman marks Bezos' suborbital flight by calling for a tax on space tourism. I told you it was in the headlines. Vaccinated White House and Pelosi aides caught COVID-19 from fugitive Texas Democrat, says reports. Oops. Let's see. New South Wales health official tells Australians to refrain from talking to people to blunt spread of COVID-19. So they're not supposed to talk to each other anymore. DEA agent arrested for participating in U.S. Capitol riot, allegedly flashing his badge and firearm while off duty. Is that DEA agent ever really off duty? And then there is one up there. Oh, it's going to need to go out too, because it's related. Hang on, let me get it out. Fun times. Okay, undercover FBI informants played key role in plot to kidnap Michigan governor. Suspects claim as they accuse government of entrapment. So, interesting. No, it wasn't related to the Capitol thing. I was initially thinking it was related to the Capitol thing. Wow, that is very, very interesting. Gonna have to see how this plays out. This might turn a completely different direction here. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and cut out of here. I know kind of a short show tonight, but that's okay. Tomorrow I should be back in the normal routine, both for the morning news for Patreon, the Grow Tent daily. Well, it's going to be different than a daily vlog video tomorrow. It's actually going to be an actual video, because I'm going to show an upgrade that I'm going to do, kind of a downgrade upgrade that I'm going to do with the Grow Tent, and then I'll have the regular show tomorrow night. So I am going to get out of here. I hope everybody has a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.